Michigan. This is Conversations with Lavish. It's time for us all to come together. Young, old, and everyone in between. Lavish talks about business, news, politics, networking, and anything else that's going on in the world. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Lavish Towing, and on YouTube at Lavish T. Williams. This is Lavish T. Williams.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hey, this is Lavish T. Williams. Today on the show, I got Waymond Hayes on here, man. Forgotton Felons, director of Focus Hope, and he does a lot of other things within the community. Waymond, what's going on, man? Introduce yourself, man. Let's give him a warm round of applause.
What up, my brother?
What's happening, man?
So, I always represent the brand of Focus Hope. That's my bread and butter. There, I'm a director of early education, youth development. But today, I'm Waymond Hayes, executive director, member of Forgotton Felons.
All right, well, let's get started first, man. We're going to talk about the Forgotton Fellas, man. But, you're a director of Focus Hope, man. What all do you do over at Focus Hope? What's your job description over there being a director? What does that consist of?
So over there at Focus Hope, I'm the director of early education and youth development. I'm charged with ensuring that family receive the best services, the best damn services in the city of Detroit, from prenatal to getting their kids out of high school or joining one of our wonderful workforce programs. We support family in all many ways. We over there on Waymond. Enrollment is always open, so come and do some enrollment with your kids. All our workforce program, food program for the seniors, and our advocacy program. So please come in over there and join us over there on Waymond.
All right, how long you been over there at Focus Hope, man?
I just had my anniversary, 7 years.
Seven years.
Long years over there.
All right, how did that childhood development and all that stuff, how did that come about, man, anyway?
You know what? Actually, I started when I was the age of 20. Just BSing around. I told the director I need a job. I grew up on the southeast side of Detroit. So, I'm east sider all the way. I'm on the west side, but I'm an east sider. And I was over there and asked the director for a job. I went in young, silly, immature, until she set me down after a few years, like, you got opportunity in this. Stop playing games, boy. Clean your nose off, tie your shoes up, and get this right. And I really invested my time in getting things done. And now I told people that I was going to be a director one day, and they laughed at me. You know what I'm saying? They laughed. They say, this is the boy, he's just playing. He's silly. He only here for the ladies. He only here for the girls, because that's what he's doing. Because I was one of the only men in the program. Okay. So I didn't take advantage of it. I mean, the beauty of coming to work, because the money wasn't good. I was only making $675. I was still in the streets doing other stuff. So with that $675, I mean, the best part was coming there was the kids and the parents and building relationships. So I took it serious, buckled down, and here I am today.
All right, man. So let's take it back, man. You was in the streets, man. Let's talk about that. And the reason I want to talk about that, man, because I know what we discussed, not on camera or whatever, but you being the head of Focus Hope.
Not the head. So we got a wonderful CEO, Portia Robeson, running for wonderful CEO, Portia Robeson.
Okay.
So let's give her a head.
You had to put that out there. Let's give her a head.
Yeah. So she run that. And that's my big sister who I support. We have other wonderful directors who I love to death, and we a whole team and a family over there. But I'm charged with just one piece of it.
Okay. I'm glad you cleared that up so you won't be no problems when you go and work tomorrow.
Exactly.
We know how those titles can get you, man.
Exactly.
But you're a doctor. Waymond Hayes. I want to put that out there. And the reason I want to go back to before the Focus Hope thing, and I want to go back to you coming up, and you said you was touching the streets for a minute. The reason I want you to touch on that is because a lot of people and a lot of times people feel like once you're in the streets, there's no coming back. Once you're in the streets, that's just it. But it's so many other people out there that touch the streets. They done lived the streets and they learned from the streets and they done cleaned their act up. And nowadays you won't even believe them if they told you, hey man, I used to do the same stuff. I was out here in the streets. I was doing this. I was doing wrong. I've been incarcerated. I haven't been incarcerated. I seen murders. I did this. I did that. Kind of elaborate on you and how you were, past life.
So for me, I had a praying family, and I had a family who believed in rules and structure. I had uncles who believed in rules and structure. So I was always taught, never let the right hand see what your left hand was doing. So a lot of times, things I dibble and dabble in doing, I never let it control nothing I was doing. So when I came into situations where it could have cost me my life, cost freedom, cost me any other thing, my praying mother, the church, and family members ensured that I didn't get caught up in it. God turned me in a different direction. And also had a wonderful, my cousin, rest his soul, Big Tiny. He was like my big brother, you know what I mean? And when I got too far out of it, he was one of the ones who pulled that coattail. Like, this life is for me. You got something different going on for you. So you need to stick to that and go back to that. So I never got too adapt into it, but it did keep me with the nice cars and other stuff that I enjoyed doing. But I never got caught up in it too far. I never got too far in it.
Now, for me, I was caught up on the things that I thought went along with running the streets. You know, how cool it was. You know, this is cool because this is what I was seeing. This is what I was looking at. I was looking at the guys that had this. I was looking at the guys that was doing that. And I thought that was cool. That's what I wanted to be. That was outside of knowing, you know, I want to have a business. Outside of knowing my goals I wanted to do. On the flip side, you know, I was only thinking within the hood. Mm-hmm. I want to be real big in the neighborhood. And when I say the neighborhood, it's meaning like I didn't really need to leave out of my neighborhood. Me going to the next neighborhood was foreign. It was like, man, what you doing way over here? What was it that happened in your life to really shake that part of you out, to shake that away, the street part, to say, hey, man, this is not for me? Was it something that scared you? Was it something that you seen that turned you the other way?
So for me, I broke a rule. I brought something in the neighborhood that shouldn't have been there, and the big homies in the hood brought me together and showed me it was a lesson to that. But really what scared me back from out of the streets is when I was trying to be a ladies' man, and I was at this lady house, this girl house, and the house got shot up. And I was laying next to her. I was laying on one side, the baby was laying in the middle, and she was laying on the other end. And when the house got shot up, her baby died. It hit the baby in the neck. And that right there, to hear her cry and see that blood on that bed, really was the most devastating life experience, period. For a long time, I blamed myself for being there because I feel like if I wasn't there, it probably would never happen. But sometimes it still bothered me seeing that baby that night in that bed, and that drew me straight to church. I jumped in church, and I really dove deep in church. I began to drive the church van. I began to sing in the choir, junior deacon, and I, got back in church for a long time until it still drew me out of church, back into the comfortable realm of doing some other things. But that's what really told me you need a life change.
Okay. I mean, that's good, man. I mean, the reason I wanted you to speak on that is because it might help somebody else out there that's actually listening. Because we never know what somebody's going through.
Right.
And there's a lot of people out there, they straddle that fence. Mm-hmm. They know better, but they feel this is what they got to do. They got to do it because the homies in the hood, they admire them for it, and they want to be perceived a certain way. But in the back of their mind, they know that they shouldn't even be doing this, and they don't know which way to go. So I wanted to speak on that.
But now, see, the big homies in the hood always told me, because I went to private school, even though I grew up on the same block.
Oh man, you were private. What, you went to Cranbrook?
No, I ain't go to Cranbrook. I went to Christian Academy, Grace Temple on Dexter and Finkel. No, I'm still from the East Side, but the older guys in the neighborhood, they knew my mother. They respected my mother and my father as working parents who's struggling. And they always, no, your family wants you to do this. I grew up around a lot of people, even though they was doing whatever they was doing, they ensured that they seen something in me. They were like, go into this different direction. I had choices. Everything I did wrong, it was a choice. It's not because I had to do it, but I always had people there to push me back out of it. You understand what I'm saying?
All right. Yeah, that's interesting. So you come from a decent family.
Yeah.
Mother and father in the household. Mm-hmm. I came from a decent family as well. My mother, she was paralyzed when I was born, had a stroke. Then you have my grandparents, they raised me, working class, household. And even though they was in a working class they were a working class family, I still chose to do other things, man. What made you see the other side, the street side, to be the way out versus, living in this protected family, this middle class family?
So we was not middle class. We're still broke. 2 parents of household broke. Whereas some folks had food stamps. My parents had a check that could pay the light and gas bill, keep it on. So we got Captain Crunch every once in a while. We had to eat them King vitamins. We had Captain Crunch. But for me, I always did stuff different still. I mean, everybody was smoking weed and drinking. I didn't ever drink. I ain't never smoke weed. I mix with the ladies and I shoot dice, but I still wanted to be separate than what other stuff that other people was doing. But it was the environment that we was in. No matter if the 2 parents work or not, you still have to leave outside that door. You had a praying mother inside. She made sure we left out that door. We was prayed up. But however, you still going in that environment where the streets is different than inside your house. So the environment that I was in, them were the things that was going on. Other environments I went in was still the things that was going on. So it was exciting. I mean, it was fun. I mean, I don't want to call nobody names, but I mean, big homies in the hood, we idolized. I mean, they had the pretty girls.
Yeah, absolutely.
They had the cars, they had the jewelry, they had the motorbikes. I mean, them guys we idolized. I mean, uncles I idolized as well. But during that time as our youth, that was important. It was all about the girls. And I mean, them guys was getting the girls. I was telling somebody the other day, I said, it seemed like every girl I had when I was younger, when the older guys took her from me. I could buy you one of them lollipop rings on your finger to put it on, tell you I like you. But they can do something different, so, hey.
So we move on to adulthood, man. You went on to the Focus Hope thing. Let's talk about this Forgotton Felons. You got the shirt on. Show it up a little bit. Forgotton Felons.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Forgotton Felons. What is Forgotton Felons?
So Forgotton Felons, I called it something else a long time ago. This is when my cousin, he went in, and I know for a fact one day he will come out for a bad choice that happened that he made or whatever surroundings. You never know. Everybody innocent inside. And sometimes the period our peers convict you. But at the end of the day, and also my nephew who's coming home soon as well, when these guys come out and these ladies that's coming out, what do we have in place for them? What plan do we have in place for them? We forget about them. A lot of our loved ones are locked up in jail and have not seen anyone at all. And when they come out, we expect them to just jump back into place, jump back into society like normal, like nothing ever happened. I can't go away on vacation for 2 weeks and come back and it's normal. So we expect that our individual loved ones to really be in there, locked up, and come home with no connection. So with Forgotton Felons, the service that I'm providing is mental health service for the families to reconnect their loved ones that's in jail now, that's coming home within the next 5 years, and that's out now. How do I support them? And also my service that I provide is support our brothers who have companies, like my big brother Aaron, Marvin Cotton, Stacy, individuals who got exonerated out of prison and doing their thing, and just support them with some of the work they're doing. So I offer transportation to the loved ones to visit their family members back in jail. We also financial literacy. So I purchase houses on the east side and therefore individuals stay on the west side. So when you come home, we don't want you to go back in your same area. We want you to do something different. So I want my brothers that went to prison on the west side to come over here and get a house at East Indian Village or Morningside and do something different. Create jobs. I got individuals who create jobs for people. And individuals on the west side, the same thing. I want you to purchase houses. If we can send our brothers to the east side over to that different environment, if they can see something different, not coming back in the same space they was in.
How long have you been doing this?
So I started this back in 2007, but I didn't really go full force in it. And I was sitting there talking to my sister and her mother about my nephew coming home. And I said, I thought about relaunching it, really starting it up again and put a little twist on it. And I said, he's going to be out within the next few years. How could I support him? And how could I support these other individuals to get him support? And these other people that they just released from prison. How can we support these men and women? Because people don't understand there's a lot of women come home as well. And there's a lot of women that's locked up just like men. Right. We only talk about the men. We're not talking about the women. When these women come home, they have kids. How do we ensure that they get the parenting they need to reconnect them back to their kids? Women at prison, and there's men at prison right now, want to see their babies. They want to, that's a mental health issue, not seeing family. You locked up in a cell and it's not seeing nobody. How do we connect these people back together? It's still a family. No matter what we say they did, no matter what they got accused of, whether it was right or wrong, they still need support.
Right. There's somebody's mother, brother, cousin, sister, somebody's relative out there, man.
Exactly.
So how do you assist with the support while they're incarcerated? Do people reach out to you? Do you reach out to them? How do people connect? How do you and the individuals connect, man, to start working a working relationship?
So individuals can we launching it this Saturday. We having a prayer breakfast because we got to pray over the company first. So we're having a prayer breakfast first, and information going out for people can start signing up, getting the resources. We having a spongement fair coming up as well. We have transportation go to different prisons. They're going to hear what prisons we're going about. But the biggest thing that's going on as well is we bringing the fight to COVID to the streets. We have a lot of community high risk that's still suffering through COVID. COVID has not left here at all. So how do we give people the proper information in their language? We have a lot of wonderful doctors and lawyers. A lot of doctors and nurses out here that's doing that fight. But how do we get individuals information that they need in their language?
Now when you speak on COVID, when you speak on the COVID thing, the COVID is separate from the Forgotton Felons.
Yes.
Okay, so let's not. Yeah,
no,
let's.
But it's part of that.
Okay.
I got a couple of dollars from the people with Forgotton Felons to make sure we do that too.
Okay, because I want to stick on Forgotton Felons first before we before we go up on there, man. Right. So when we talk about inmates coming home, prisoners being released, what about their mental mindset? Every inmate that come home are not always mentally rehabilitated.
Right.
How can Forgotton Felons, help with that? Because I feel like, and I could be wrong for saying this, but people that want to help themselves will help themselves. But what about those people that really need help and they might need us to help them help themselves? How do you plan if that's a part of what you do?
So it is a plan, a part of what we do. I do have some social workers on my team. I have some wonderful nurses on my team and social workers on my team. And what we're going to do is connect them to mental health agencies. We have a lot of different mental health agencies inside of the city of Detroit, east side and west side. The difference is these individuals that work inside of these mental health agencies, they close at 5 o'clock. Forgotton Felons is a service operated between 5 o'clock to 12 o'clock p.m. So it's non-traditional hours. So we have people on our team that still help support these individuals in the evening time when situations happen, whether it's substance abuse or just need to talk to someone.
Okay. Yeah. Now, job placement, because you got to think about this, man. And I like to speak on this as well.
Go ahead.
You got inmates coming home.
Or home already.
Yep. And they really want to work. They back against the wall. And when I say they back against the wall, you got the inmates that know how to get out here and get it. But them getting out here and getting it is not always legal.
Right.
And they really want to make a legal source of income. But when they go out here to find jobs, you got two people, a felon and a non-felon. The non-felon is not even qualified. But then you got the felon that's qualified for the job. One, they won't hire him because he's a felon. Or two, because he's a felon, they will give him a lower pay. How do we stop that? Is there any type of way we can stop that? I see it all the time. I know people that's really crafty and handy with a trade. And because they got a felony, it's harder for them to get that job. Or if they get that job, they don't want to pay him what he's worth or what she's worth. How can we, what is it that we can do to help with employment so that people can actually have a place of employment with livable wages?
So one thing we should be noticing now, people don't have employees, whether they non-felons or felons. There's a lot of companies out here who have money who don't have nobody to work for them at all. So I believe in ownership, number one, having your own company. But hooking these individuals who want to work and need to work up with these job placement programs and assisting them into finding jobs. Some people need assistance. You have so many different grants out here. You have jobs that are looking for individuals, and it just don't hit the high-risk areas where people are at. So with Forgotton Felons, our job is to connect this information to the high-risk areas, individuals, and connect the two.
Is there any way that you could probably, and I know this is probably going off the top, it's going off the top, but I want to know that maybe you can go out to certain companies. Mm-hmm. Right now we living in this COVID era. And just like you stated, it's a lot of places out there that need workers. Mm-hmm. They don't have employees. Would you feel that it's safe to say that maybe now is a time for those felons to seek employment there, and with the hopes of actually getting in because they need workers? But then on the flip side, what about when the world changes back over? Would these felony employees have to worry about getting booted out?
So I don't think the world never gonna change back. We ain't never going back to where it was. Now that's my personal belief. COVID hit our streets, and I don't think we never would go back to what it was. Individuals that do have felons can get them expunged based around how the years, and we want information, and we want individuals to understand that and know that. So we're gonna bring the information to them. We want to prepare with these workforce programs. Our job is to help connect these workforce programs to these individuals, because you have a lot of workforce programs who don't have students in the classroom or who don't have felons in the classroom because the individuals cannot reach the people. They're not speaking the language, other individuals that need the information. So we want to connect the both. And then at the same time, we want our felons to understand, and I hate to keep calling felons, justice involved individuals to understand they have a right to vote. It's election time. We need to get these people out who are not speaking on our behalf. We need to start voting for individuals who speak on their behalf, who's going to get them job placement programs, who put money into them. It's election. They can vote. And we need them to understand they can vote. A lot of individuals are not touching these high-risk individuals to get their votes. And if you're not touching us, how do we get it? Round up our individuals and vote for the right person and get these other people out of here.
Right. It's I guess that would be considered the education part.
That's
education part.
Knowledge is what we're giving out.
Because keep in mind, you still have a lot of people that come home and they just don't have the mental capacity.
Right.
They don't have the knowledge. A lot of these people, they wasn't raised like me and you.
Right.
Not taking nothing away from them, but they didn't have the household. They didn't have the mother, the father, the grandparents. Mm-hmm. Some of these people out here, they really got a testament. They really got a story because of the way they survived, living the way they're living. But they're not, they got a 5th grade education.
Right. So
you don't even know. I mean, because they hide it so well. They don't even, they don't know. You don't know that, man. And when it comes down to voting, they have to be educated. A lot of times people feel like, what am I voting for?
Right.
Well, I mean, what is it doing?
And if you ain't got to be an injustice involved person to do that, because some people just don't vote, period. And no election. Some people vote for the presidency, and that's it. But with the knowledge and information, we have too many people out here who have this information. So it's really not, Forgotton Felons is not a company. So let's be clear. It's not a company that's coming out doing mental health services, because we have a lot of mental health services. It's not a company that's coming out to do health services, because you got a lot of doctors on every corner. We're not a church. You got a church on every corner. But how do we connect people to the right place they need to go?
Now, it's Forgotton Felons. Is that a nonprofit?
Hell no.
It's not.
No, it's not. We are a service for pay. No. I know a lot of nonprofit organizations that work with felons or injustice individuals. Like I said, my man Marvin Cotton, my man Aaron, and my job is to support them. They nonprofits. I have skill sets that I can write a grant. I have connections I can help them get a grant. And my job with Forgotton Felons is to support them, give them the money. How could I help you? And how could you pay for the service that we're going to provide? So
okay. None. Okay.
No.
Now, what's the difference, and why wouldn't you be?
Right now, we have, Forgotton Felons have some property in place, and we want to educate individuals on how to purchase them properties. And I'm a owner. I believe in ownership. I believe in ownership. And for me right now, putting that into a nonprofit, I want to be able to say, and the team want to be able to say, I'm saying the team, we want to move in the direction we want to move in without being political correct sometimes.
Okay.
So it's, so we use our own money. It's
I got
self-funded.
I got a question.
Yes.
I got a question from a viewer. What do you say to our youth who idolize the streets, rappers, social media, etc., who think that fast money is the route to go?
So when I was a youth, I was never really an East Coast lover of rap music. I love some East Coast. I was always West Coast, so I like Eazy, NWA, Ice Cube. And you call me Dr. Hayes now. So you use music, you use anything that in your child's space to help educate them. Right now, our kids live in a day and time that they idolizing everything but the parents in the community, because the community is not together, number one. So when we used to say that it takes a child to raise a community, it takes a community to raise a child, the community is dirty, it's filthy, it's time it's cleaned up. We need to buy our community back and clean it up, number one. And number two, the parents, we have to spend more time with our kids and find out what they are doing and use it as an educational piece. My sons, they listen to rap music, but they understand the difference between the two. And they see me listen to rap music. I still listen to rap music. I still bump. I've been on Young Gotti every morning when I go to work, and I'm dropping the kids off on it because, but at the end of the day, they know the difference. So we got to stop blaming stuff. It is an influence. Let's be clear. Music, video games, other stuff is an influence in our kids' life. Everything is influence in our life as adults still. However, it's about the experience that we put in front of our kids and things that we talk to them about and keep it educated on. And we got to continue to pray for our kids. That's what helped me. My mother prayed for me. My grandmother prayed for me. Uncles, aunties prayed for me.
How much influence do you think social media might have on the individual?
75%. Because I still like TikTok. I love TikTok. I get a lot of my. I love it. And you know what? And social media is still YouTube because I listen to TD Jakes. I know I need to go sit in somebody's church. I know I need to sit down in the church. However, but I still get a lot of information from social media. TD Jakes. I watch him on YouTube, watch him on TikTok. And I feel like whatever's going on during that time, I get a lot of that good information. I like Facebook. And a lot of services come on Facebook, and a lot of trainings come on Facebook. Everything now is on social media. We've been learning on Teams and other stuff on the computer where they said it was bad for your eyes. We doing that all day now. So, but how do we use these platforms and put our kids in a space? My belief is the experience that we get. That's what changed the trajectory of your life, the experience. So if I just stay right here on the east side, and if I never visit the west side, I don't know a different experience. You understand what I'm saying?
So in other words, outside of social media is what the parents play. The role that the parents play as far as parenting.
That's a good piece. The parents play an important role. However, we can't keep using old information. I can't raise my kids how my mother raised me. For instance, me and my mother was talking the other day, and she say she want me to get a coach because sometimes I mess up on the words. I say she want me to sound more proper. When my father was here, he was like, man, say it how you going to say it. And she like, use proper words. But I speak for the people, and I want the people up to understand what I'm saying. Right now, we have leaders in position in place who don't know how hot the fire is, and they're just giving off a whole lot of opinions at all, and ain't nobody listening. But I want to be that middleman in the middle. I want to be an individual in the middle to be able to speak on my people's behalf in a way that they understand me, in the language they understand, because I was always taught to when you speak down, you use and I hate to use down, but I hope I'm not degrading nobody, but I hope people understand. Because there's always that different language barriers in between how people speak.
All right.
But when I'm speaking to my individuals who I provide service to and who I'm there to serve, I want them to understand, and I want them to be comfortable with me to be able to speak that language back to me. So then when I go up to speak and I sit in them rooms, I'm coming there as my authentic self and speaking on behalf of the people. People want you to be authentic until you show up as yourself. And when I step in the room, I'm speaking for the people. I'm not caring about the people that top feelings. I want you to be able to understand, so when you're making informative decisions, that you can make it the right way for the people that we're supposed to be here to provide service to.
Yeah, being yourself. Being yourself. You got to. I think, well, it's no thinking. People, they respect you more when you being yourself. Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Like I said, people respect you and they say they want diversity. Everybody say they want diversity until you show in there your authentic self. I go into the room, man, and 95% of the time, I'm the only man. And the other 80% of the time, I'm the only black. You understand what I'm saying? So I sit in spaces with a lot of women. So a lot of times I have to come in and watch what I say and be able to articulate in a way that everybody understands, and which is okay. But however, I'm still speaking on behalf of men. We start talking about pregnancy. I'm speaking on men. Because I'll give them a male perspective always because I'm a man. And I'm also I'm there to ensure that our women get the best service as well. Whether they felons, whether they unjust individuals, or individuals that just need service.
Now let's talk about the women. Because we talked about, the men, we talked about people coming home in general. What experience do you have with these incarcerated women? Because we don't talk too much about it, but we do know it's a lot of women that they're incarcerated.
Right.
But when you talk about people being locked up, our mind first goes to the dude. Mm-hmm. What did he do? And whatever. But you got females that's incarcerated. Some of them are mothers. Some of them are even pregnant. Mm-hmm. You have no experience working with any of the females at this point?
So I have experience working with females. However, parenting training, resources, but we have other females like Stacy who have her own nonprofit organization. So I'm working with individuals who have their own group. My job is to connect the resources and also provide transportation back and forth to the prisons. They're my two big pieces. And give information out about COVID. So I'm an information share.
Okay.
Yep.
Now let's talk about this COVID thing.
Uh-huh.
I mean, because everything is COVID now.
Yes.
And you mentioned COVID. So what is your part with COVID? What does COVID and what you got going on, how does those two tie in together?
So I received this grant through our organization, and it's really to bring information about COVID to our neighborhoods, to the blocks, to the high-risk individuals. And what I mean by high-risk individuals is individuals in spaces where when the organization closed at 4 and 5 o'clock, our people I hate to say it, it's just starting to move around. They just starting to move around. So how do they get the information they need in a way that they can, from somebody who articulated so they can understand? So for instance, in the black community, in the urban community, a lot of individuals died from COVID.
Right, we had the highest risk.
We had the highest risk. We've been talking about it. But individuals still don't want to take the vaccination because some they heard on YouTube. They got misinformation.
Now let me ask you this: Did you get vaccinated?
100%.
You did.
Yes.
Okay, I did not.
You did not?
I did not.
How you feeling?
I feel just as great as I did in 1990, in 1985.
Did you catch COVID?
Did I catch it? I believe I did. Yeah.
You believe you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
what's the but? Because for whatever but you have, I definitely got a rebuttal on that.
You got a rebuttal for that?
I got a rebuttal for that.
Let me ask you one thing.
Yeah.
Are you healthy?
Yes.
That's the difference. Just think about if you was overweight. You had blood pressure problems. You had diabetes. You had all these other health issues. Could you sit here and say the same thing?
So me,
okay,
I'm playing devil's advocate.
Go ahead.
People still went out there, took the shot. Mm-hmm. Healthy.
Right.
And people that had medical problems. Mm-hmm. They took this shot that they lived by listening to the government, listening to the people say, hey, let me take this shot. I got to take this shot. Let me get this booster. The guy who did not take the shot, they both caught COVID.
Mm-hmm. And what happened?
They both caught it.
So,
So what was the, you took the shot. He didn't take the shot. But at the end of the day, y'all both caught it. Mm-hmm. Y'all both healed from it. Then they come up with different strands.
Did you really heal for it?
Did you? They still living.
So just because you live it don't mean you heal from it. Because sometimes, in a lot of people that call COVID, it's a lot of after effects that's not being talked about. And then number two, I'm not a medical professional, so
Me either. I'm just
we just talking.
Yeah, just talking.
We on lavish. You know what I mean? We just talking. And the only thing I can do is share what I heard. But when we have talk shows and works focus groups, my beautiful daughter, nurse, I have a lot of nurses on the team that's there to share the proper verbiage for information. So I ain't gonna be the one talking. I'm just the handsome guy that's setting it up. You got me? So, but what I do know about COVID is this, and what I have witnessed is a lot of my friends who did pass, because I know a lot of brothers that passed, they had other underlying health issues from COVID. I do know that individuals who was healthy, they may have been asymptomatic and passed it along,
Correct.
not even knowing it, to somebody else because you're healthy. Like I just put on my page, I had a health scare. I had COVID a while back, I believe when it first came out. And now when I went to the doctor, because I kept feeling my chest was hurting, my blood pressure was high. My blood pressure was high, my cholesterol was high. I went from pre-diabetic to diabetic, worked the whole plan out. My doctor, like, you got to get this off of you. Man, I went hard for a whole month. Cut the sugar out, stopped the pop, the stressing, eliminating stuff, going to bed on time, eating right. I'm a fried chicken guy. I love to pull wings. I love to pull that bird. I was in Kentucky Fried Chicken right down there. I think they got the best Kentucky Fried Chicken on the west side. Right there on Davidson and Linwood. You understand what I'm saying? I would go in there and get a spicy breast and a thigh every day. My man and them go in there and get the 5 thighs for $5. They took care of us because it was coming there every day based on relationship. And I had to go cold turkey because I knew I want to be around for my boys, my daughters, my grandkids. So I went cold turkey on everything. I might sip a pop now. I might need to drink the whole thing.
But was that for symptoms of COVID?
So it was for me not to have
my health issues,
not to have these underlying health issues, because I had the vaccination. When I did get tested for asymptomatic, I had COVID before, but you can catch it again.
Correct.
And if I caught it again with all these other issues, will I be around?
And my question goes back to when you said you took the shot.
Mm-hmm.
You're still worried about catching it again.
Right.
So what is the shot really doing?
But so the shot is to protect you from being in the hospital and protect you from dying.
But I still know people that died.
But did they have other health issues?
You
got to clean up both. You got to do both. We have to do both. I don't believe in the shot. You don't?
I mean, it's a debatable thing. I personally don't, because here's the thing. All these 40 years that I've been living, I never had to take a COVID shot to live. Mm-hmm. So then this COVID thing comes out, you take a shot. Then they come out with another strand of COVID. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now they got another strand of COVID, but this shot that you took is not going to protect against this COVID strand. Mm-hmm. So why did I take the shot?
So let me try to put it in another form. Let's see. You got a Cadillac, right?
All right.
You got a Cadillac. It's 1965, right?
All right. It'll be an Impala, truthfully.
Is it Impala? Okay.
Yeah.
Every
63.
2 years it changed, right?
Yeah.
Now they're electronic. You kept approving. That whole COVID string just kept approving until it died off. And who would say it would never die off? We don't know.
Yeah, I just
don't know.
I'm just not a fan. I don't knock who took it, right, but I just don't see it being fit for me. Here's another thing. Mm-hmm. It's a mental thing for me. Mm-hmm. And I just want you to pay attention. If you look at the news, you got the Russians and the Ukrainians going to war. I'm not, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a word. I can't even describe it right now. But they're going to war. Soon as they go to war, newsflash, the government say they're restricting the use of masks. COVID numbers are going down and people can start going out there without a mask. See, I think like that. Why? Why all of a sudden they going to war? So this is the new news that's scaring people. We can go back to almost living normal. So I just ain't in the,
I think that with everybody, my only advice.
Conspiracy theories. That's the word I'm looking for. Conspiracy theories.
It might be some, and at first I had some until I started seeing people die, and that changed up the whole outlook for me. It completely. Monty had the vaccination. She still died, but she had other underlying health issues. But for me, people got to protect themselves by all means necessary. I wear my mask in a lot of places. Sometimes I don't wear my mask. I believe that I'm prayed up and God going to protect me and he want me to be here for a purpose. But at the same time, it's my responsibility to be responsible. And that's what I'm telling you. If you don't believe in the vaccination, make sure you protect yourself at all times.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I just, I want to protect myself, man. I do think that the COVID is definitely real out here, man. I mean, a lot of people, they caught it. Some of them didn't know they had it. Shucks, when I caught it, I didn't even know I had it. You know what I'm saying? So, it is out here. I don't think is going away. We just don't know what it is. I mean, you can catch it. I mean, shucks, 7 months from now, COVID can be called something else, and who knows? So who knows? But let's talk about this mental health, man.
Right. Men are dying, and people are committing suicide out here.
Yeah.
They stressed out.
Suicide rates, are high. And when we talk about men's mental health, it's so much to cover.
Right.
It's so many different levels to actually talk about.
Right.
So where would you like to start, man? Because we can go from, finances. We can go from families, being the head of the household. I mean, there's so many different, different things that lays heavy on a man and men, across the country, across the world, man, that causes all types of different effects resulting with mental health issues. So where would you like to start at?
For me, to wrap all that in, is talking about men being okay, to be honest, to say I'm not okay.
Okay.
And a safe space created to say I'm not okay. I am going through something and I don't understand what I'm going through. And I just can't explain it. That's where them issues come from, because sometimes you can be going through hurting, pain, the stress of life. You can say the bills are heavy, but we are natural born hustlers. I mean, some people are natural born hustlers, period. You know how to make $1, bottom line. And we grew up in spaces where, okay, if I don't have my $1, I'm coming to take yours. You
right.
That too, bottom line. So for our men now to be going through so much and can't explain it and don't even know what it is, and a lot of, it just having a safe space to say I'm not okay.
I mean, I think it's hard really for men, because I'm not making an excuse for this, but the expectation of a man is so high.
Exactly.
The expectation is really high, where we have a hard time trying to release, trying to, share our feelings, because it's kind of like we're not allowed to. We're not supposed to.
Don't nobody want to hear it.
They don't want to hear it.
Don't nobody care.
Because you're a man, you'll figure it out.
Your job is to fix it.
Right. When they don't know the effects, I mean, there's so many, like I say, there's so many different levels, so many different layers to it. So what's some of the solutions? What's some of the ways and things that men can do? I mean, at the end of the day, it's all within that man. For me, I'm just starting to slowly release myself, but look at how long it took me.
So sometimes we say we are brother keeper, right?
All right.
If you my brother, and I got to cuss. I'm sorry. What time is it?
It's time.
It's time?
Yeah.
If I fuck with you, like we say, you my man, and I fuck with you, I'm going to be able to tell that something is going on. I'm going to be able to tell that you're not lavish. So I need to be able to ask you that question. Sometimes we see our brothers hurting every day, and don't ask that question. We see our people acting different, moving different, and don't say nothing at all. We have to be able to ask that question and then have that space. And for instance, if I'm going through something, I'm crying, and it could be I'm crying over a woman, automatically you're going to get teased. You're going to get that. But however, at the end of the day,
there's a deeper line.
It's a deeper line.
Behind that.
We're going to talk about, we're going to give you a hug, but you don't get talked about. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get talked about. But it's that space and being comfortable and allowing your brother to be vulnerable to you.
Yeah.
Our women have to allow us to be vulnerable to them. is that if I'm going through something, because sometimes my job is stressful as hell. Everything I do is stressful, but I'm built for it. But I still need that safe space to be able to say, this is what's going on. One thing I can't stand is leaders to do fucking more talking than they is listening. Because, and I had to learn that myself. My job is to listen to my people, and my job is to give them the tools because they doing the work. And even in a household, as men, we doing more talking than we doing listening. And sometimes we need for other people to listen. Because if you listen, you can help. If you helping somebody, you have to do more listening. Sometimes it's not about advice. Because people will figure it out on their own in the conversation. Mm-hmm. They're going to figure it out on their own. Your job is to help them figure it out, not to tell them what to do. It's to help them figure out and to listen. We need everybody just to zip it up and listen. We're not asking you to fix anything, but to listen. When your man come home, for my ladies who are out there listening and watching, and you see it's a change, he ain't cheating. A lot of times people think that the man, when he's doing a change, he is cheating. And it's not him cheating. He can be going through something, he just need for you to listen. Just be there to listen. That's all.
They definitely need that, man. Some of these women. No offense, ladies, but you talk too much.
I ain't gonna go there. But I ain't gonna go there. But a man could be talking about something that's going on with him, and I can't. We guilty of it. Men, a lot of times, a woman, I would always say, okay, man, listen, because once a woman some women want your knowledge how they feel. Okay, you could have messed up, or they could be saying something. They just want your knowledge. They don't want your rationality at all. Because with men, we gonna make up an excuse of why we did whatever we did, and women don't want to hear that. Just acknowledge that you did what you did, and let's move forward. Let's move on. Men want to be able to say what they're gonna say, and you just to listen, because they don't want you to start telling me how you feel or the way to fix it. Just listen. Just be able to listen. Let him lay on your chest and listen. Let him put his head on his lap.
I think it might be hard. I think it might be hard for women to just listen. I'm not taking this away from women. I'm not like picking at women for talking too much, but I'm just saying that.
Like it.
What's that?
You know, I work with women. You can't go down that rabbit hole.
No, but what I'm saying is that you have women that don't know how to let a man talk, and they don't know how to listen because they have to point out something. No matter what the delivery is with that guy, I know for myself, I'm going to speak for myself. Mm-hmm. If I feel like, hey, I really want to share something with you, and I'm feeling like I'm opening myself up, and a lot of guys probably feel this way. As a man, you feel like I'm trying to be comfortable enough to open myself up. At that point, I really just need you not to say nothing. Nothing. Because I'm at a vulnerable state right now, and I just need to get it off my chest. And as soon as that woman starts to talk, depending on what she's saying, it locks that guy back up. He gets tensed back up, and he stops talking. Mm-hmm. It's like a defense mechanism. And then he's back in the shell. He don't want to talk, and now he's still carrying that weight. He's still carrying that weight on him. You know, and these are things that women, because they're not a man, so they don't know. But speaking as a man, I'm sharing that with you. If y'all out there listening, that sometimes it's something that man really just needs to say. Right. And no matter what's going on in your relationship, just give that guy a chance to speak freely.
I know a lot of brothers who committed suicide, left kids behind, wife behind. And I always wonder, like, what's going on in that brother's mind? But sometimes we all go in dark spaces where we just can't figure it out. Or the stress of life just come back to you to that point. But some people are built different. And some people have a prayer life that they can pray to God, and God can show you. Or some people have friends around. I got people around me who gonna tell me when I'm wrong. People assume that people are just yes people. No. I got people around who I deal with who gonna tell me when I'm wrong all day. All day. And one of the person, my man Marcus, that's my guy. I want that to be known. That's my guy. And he one of the realest ones that we have a conversation. He be like, dog, you wrong. You wrong. And I be like, I can't say what I want to say, what I say to him. I'll be like, man, fuck that. You taking my side today. You know what I mean? You taking my side today. And I say that to him. He laugh. We laugh about it. But I hear him. My mother helped me see stuff different. So when, even as, no matter what, your mother gonna protect you all day in public. But we sitting there, we talking, and she be like, and I be saying, oh, this happened, or this person did this person. She's like, okay, let's talk about what you did. Because every reaction causes reaction.
Correct.
Every action causes reaction. But in order to help people, let them get it out. Then ask questions, not telling them. You ask questions. Because if you want to help me, if I want to help you, I need to understand whatever's going on.
Right.
And that's why these brothers are so frustrated and stressed, because they feel like no one is listening to them at all. They got the weight on their back, and they can't get it out.
But does that make them a weak man? That's the thing, too.
To themselves, they do. To themselves. Sometimes I feel weak when I can't figure out stuff. And sometimes we too proud to ask for help.
Right.
Listen, I done lost everything. I was on my knuckles. And guess what I did? I had survivor skills. I knew how to boil water, number one. I didn't have cable. I had a VCR. And I had the survivor skills. Everybody don't have them survivor skills. Or they don't know how to go back to them. But I was too proud to ask for help. I was too proud. So now I try to help. I help brothers by telling them, sharing my story, because you could have got out of it quicker with a little support and help. But now I'm not that proud to ask for help.
Right.
I'm not that proud to say, I need this. I need that. This is what I need from you.
I think it come with growth
and maturity.
It come with growth and maturity. Right. I say that because let's go back to when we were teenagers and in our 20s. I mean, you can have an individual, they'll come and they'll tell us something, they'll tell us our problems, they'll come crying about a girl, and we will laugh, make fun of them. And I mean, they change now. The mentality back then and now, and the sensitivity level from then and now is way different, because now you can't laugh at a person now because they'll go off themselves. Mm-hmm. They commit suicide. Back then it was just, whatever, man, I don't want to be around him, man. All he do is talk. I don't feel like hearing that stuff. It didn't bother him as much, but we still laughed, made fun of him. Then as we grew and got older, we hear the same stories just years later. So instead of us laughing and making fun, it's like, wow, man, I got to go over here and holler at Waymond, man. He got some stuff he want to, tell me. Then it's like, our conversation is a lot different. Mm-hmm. It's more like, wow, man, let me be helpful to you. Shake it off.
But we still
Let's hang out.
We still got the brother with them female tendencies. And them female tendencies is when you start talking to them, they go to run off at the mouth. So something, like I said, is about who you dealing with. And some men are built different.
Yeah.
You got some guys can be vulnerable because they in the wrong circle. Because they know once they say something, it's gonna get out.
That is true. It
ain't no rules no more. We got to put a play. I'm gonna write a book of rules to manhood, about some of the rules that we grew up on and that helped us along the way. Because it's a new generation. So the old information that we grew up on don't work today. For instance, yesterday prices ain't today prices. Math problems that we figured out in school is different formula today.
Correct.
It's the same number, it's different formula. And we not equipped today with how to get to the new formula. And that's why our kids are suffering. That's why parents can't be parents as teachers. I was trying to help my son with his homework, and I'm looking at that math like, there's no dang on way I'm going to help him, because I couldn't figure it out for nothing in the world. And then I called somebody else to help figure it out, and they couldn't get it. But we want parents to be teachers in the classroom and custodians. But that's a whole nother story. I ain't going down that rabbit hole. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is some of the rules that we grew up on need to be reshaped and explained to our kids in relatable times today. For instance, like boys was taught not to cry, but it's okay to cry. But once you get done crying, wipe your face and get back on your grind. Don't sit there and cry all week. Don't sit there and cry all day. I'm going to help you walk it through, but the movement don't stop. You understand what I'm saying? We got to keep moving.
So let me ask you this question. I want to ask you this. It's a personal question.
Yep.
Because you talk about men taught not to cry. Me, I was taught not to cry, be strong. So I can't cry.
You can't cry?
I can't cry.
Whoa.
You know, even when I tried, I can't because mentally, that's not what I'm supposed to do. I wasn't designed, to cry. Do you cry?
I do cry. And in the last year, I cried twice. Twice. I was crying. I couldn't figure out why I was crying, number one, because I was so stressed. And then the second time is when I was figuring out why I was crying and had that breakthrough. And yeah, so I do cry. Hell no, I ain't just walking around there just crying, just be crying. So let's get that clear. No. But yes, I do cry. And even with my father passing, I didn't get a chance to really cry, let it out. So if I'm sitting up at night by myself and thinking about him, I do shed that tear. Or if I'm in the car driving, I do shed that tear and wipe my face and get back on my grind. But I do cry. And I encourage my sons to cry because we do have testosterone built up in us and we do have that fight. But that energy, we have to release it. That's where the high blood pressure comes from, that stress. You got to cry, bro. Go ahead and cry for us one time on the show.
No, so here's the thing. No, it's been times where, you feel like you want to cry.
Right.
Because, you got a lot of mental things going on in your mind. You just never really know. For me, you might see me the way that you see me, but behind closed doors, man, you don't know the struggles between running the business,
right,
dealing with the family, a whole bunch of other personal issues, the fight, having to take care of people over here, having to take care of people over there, people pulling you in all types of different directions where you're being the top guy. It's not many people that the top guy can really, go to.
Right.
And it'd be times where you, not on the suicide level,
right,
but it'd be times where you just want to leave everything. You just don't want to be bothered. You want to go into this happy place and space, which could be a dark place because you just want to be away from everybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? And don't be bothered.
But you know what I learned from that though? Because I was like that. I feel like I had to be the one who be the savior to handle everything. But this year, what I learned, I had to step back. I have a wonderful team at Focus Hope. We have a wonderful leadership team from the top down. And I had to step back and let individuals pick up that slack and that responsibility. That's about having the best people around you. And even with Forgotton Felons, I have a strong team of 15 professionals. You understand what I'm telling you? That if I step out the way and have to handle something, one of them can pick up that slack. Somebody can pick up that slack to make sure that everything is still moving. So with me, I had to trust people that I'm around to ensure that I'll be okay.
And that was going to be the next thing when you just said that is the trust level. Man, it's so hard to trust people, man. And that's another thing, letting your guard down to trust somebody that you can trust not to disappoint you.
Right.
On a personal level and on a business level. You put your trust in a person, they let you down.
Yeah. And so I don't trust everybody. I have trust issues. But I'm learning to open up. I'm learning to open up to trust people and to put people in positions. So I don't deal with everybody. People assume. And then I post, like on Facebook, I post what I want to post. And we can create the image there. Whatever image you want to create, we can create that anytime we get ready to. You know what I mean? I always believe, number one, don't let the right know what the left is doing. I can create an image for you and have you thinking one thing and I'm doing something different. Like the whole time, people didn't know about Forgotton Felons. That's been in the cookie jar for the whole 2020. People might see a shirt every blue moon. People didn't even understand that at all. But at the same time, I keep people around that I can trust, and it's not a lot. People I can depend on. Once you fail me and I can't depend on you, it's hard to deal with you on that end again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My time is value, and I just don't have time to keep investing into people that's not going to be trustworthy.
And then you got to trust. It's like what DMX said. And actually, I got that comment down here too, man. You have to trust people to be who they are.
Yep.
You know, and move accordingly. And I do think that's a true statement, because if I know that I only can trust you with this, in my mind, you're only as good as my trust level with you. I know I can't trust you with my car because you drink.
Right.
So I'm not gonna let you drive my car. But I know outside of you drinking that you're a great example of how not to be like you, which is a screw up.
I don't trust nobody with two
You
things.
know what I'm saying?
I don't trust you with my lady, number one, because I'm real particular, and I ain't gonna trust you with my car, because the car, that's mine. I don't have no other habits. So when I buy a car, that's for me. You know what I mean? That's mine. So I just don't get the keys out freely. You know what I mean? And I mean, in my space and my time. I mean, my time, I give it out to everybody. Like with Focus Hope, that's what pay me. That's their time. So they pay me. So from the time I'm there to the time I'm leave, that's their time. So whatever I'm asked to do to provide the service, that's what my job is to do. Once I leave up out here, it's my time. You know what I mean? And my time is valuable.
No, your time is something that you can't get back, man.
You can't get it back.
You can't get back. So definitely, you know, my time is valuable. And a lot of people don't respect your time.
No, they don't. I can't stand people
don't
late.
respect your time.
I can't stand people that's late.
Now I want to tell you, I'm late.
Oh,
I'm late on. Let me tell you this. I'm on time, but I'm late on purpose.
why?
And I want to tell you that the reason I'm late on purpose is because I feel no one respects my time. I know where I should be at on time because I respect their time, but when it comes down to my time, they don't respect the time. I know I got to go to this professional meeting. I know the kind of people that I'm dealing with, they're on time. I know I need to be there on time. But then on the flip side, when I say, hey, Jay, I need you to come over here. I need you to be here at 5 o'clock. Or he needs me to be there at 5 o'clock. Here it is, 5:20. I'm still waiting on you. Hold on, man. I'm pulling up. But your phone worked. You knew you was going to be late. And then with me towing, here it is. Yeah, I'll be there in 30 minutes because I know how long it's going to take me to get there. When I'm there, oh, yeah, I'm 10 minutes away. So my thing now is I want you to be there waiting for me already. So when I pull up, I'm not waiting for you because you're there. They don't value my time. When I tell you I'm going to be here and I dedicate this time to you, if I'm going to be there at 4 o'clock, I'm going to be there at 4 o'clock. You're not there at 4 o'clock. I already dedicated other time. I dedicated my 5 o'clock spot to somebody. So now you're going to take away from their time because you're running 30 minutes late.
Right.
So now I got to bump them 30 minutes later. And I don't want to do that. So it's either you're going to get your time cut, or I'm going to have to tell these other people I'm being held up because you didn't respect my time.
See, my time is so much money. And in business, like Imani's Development, that's what I call my real estate company after my daughter. Her name is Faith. My tenants, when they move in, I say, you pick your day that you're going to pay. You pick your day. And on that day, you call me. If it go past 12 o'clock, I don't want your money anymore. You got to go. You got to go.
You don't want that money
I don't
no
want your
more.
money no more. I don't want your money no more. I make money. Listen, money comes and go. I don't want your money to go more.
No late fees?
No late fees.
Just the victim.
Just a victim.
I don't want to be your
I only
tenant.
want to be your. No, listen. My tenants, you pay 11 months. You pay 11 months. You get 1 month free because I want you to pay on time. I have a set price of what I want to charge you. But if I know you can't pay that price, that's why I ain't buying no house in Roseville for no doggone $200,000 and about to put a family of 12 in there and talking about give me $2,000 a month. No, it's unfair. So I buy a house in a nice neighborhood, fix it up how you want to live in there, and it is on you. And how much could you afford to pay? My price set in my mind of what I really want from you, but I'm going to give you a room and a cushion. And you tell me how much you can pay, number one, and you pick the day. And guess what? You looking at me?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody late. Everybody pay on time. I got one guy who always tried to negotiate something wrong in the house.
Yeah.
And he want to fix something. And you know what I told him?
What's that?
When I come pick that money up, you stay there. You got a choice. Fix what you going to fix. I'm going to fix major stuff, but I want my money on time. I don't want it short. I'll take it all at once. I take it in quarters, but I need my money when I come pick up. If not, you have to go. I'll wait until the court's open, but you got to go. You got to go. I don't want it. If you owe me money, you come and pay me. If you don't pay me when you're supposed to pay me, I ain't gonna keep asking you about it.
Now what if it's one of the forgotten felons, man?
So
he's one of the forgotten felons. He fell
clear.
on hard times, man. Come on, man.
Let's be clear. I'm not gonna rent out to a forgotten fella. I want you to have ownership. So the properties that we do have in place that's in rehabilitations now, is for you to buy and purchase. We want you to go through a process of financial literacy. If you can purchase your own home, you and your family. Once your families get into the house, and we should have home ownerships. But if it do come to a place, I got to do a land contract with you. It has stipulations in place. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's still business. It's still business. But whatever you tell me you can pay, and we agree upon that pay and that time, I need that money. I'm just sorry. If you owe me money, listen, I've been in places and situations like, for instance, I'll tell a story of my other daughter watching. I was paying her phone bill for her, and she got mad. Her mother got mad because I was checking her phone. And she thought it was about the money. And I tore that money up right there because it's not about the money. It's the principle. I stick to principles, number one. And in my mind, whether they right or wrong, they mine. I have strong principles about stuff. And when it come to money, you're going to make it. People can try to be slick, try to be manipulative about it. You're going to make it, going to come and go. But with your principles, what you stand on, and my time, that's the most valuable piece, bro.
Okay.
And I stick to that. I stick to it. And my tenants, they pay on time. And I go to Myers and buy food boxes. It's something like Christmas time. I give them gifts because I want you to pay. I want you to be comfortable. I want you to be comfortable.
All right.
But I need you to pay. I need you to pay.
It's a business.
It's a business.
All right, I got it, man. Before we go ahead and wrap this up, man, you got anything else you want to put out there, man, in the atmosphere?
Well, we have the prayer. I want everybody to take the time and on Saturday, March the 5th, and say a prayer with us. We launching really Forgotton Felons hard. We're going hard with it. We got so many things in play. Like I said, the first initiative is bringing the fight of COVID to the street to give people information. We're not trying to force no one to take a vaccination. We just want you to have the information. We want you to be healthy. We want our men to go to the doctor. If you have issues, talk to somebody.
I think that's another thing we got going on, man, with men. A lot of men that I'd heard and talked with, man, they don't like going to the doctor.
Right. I was one of them people. I paid for medical insurance. I paid a lot of money for medical insurance for me and my kids. And for a while, I wasn't going at all.
I think most men, when they do go to the doctor, it's because we had to go to the ER first.
Right.
For some unrelated reason, only to find out some stuff that could have been prevented or, whatever. But, long story short, man, a lot of black men, and not just black men, just men in general, they just will not go to the doctor.
Right.
Unless they just really have to.
You know what I used to do? Every time I cough or something went wrong, I go to YouTube. I went to YouTube and looked at it. I'm serious. I'm joking, but I'm serious,
University.
Bro. And at the end of the day, go see a doctor. Go get your home physician, see a doctor, make a plan if you're overweight. If your blood pressure, I take them pills. I know it said it messes with your manhood. They got other medicine for you to help you out, brothers. Ladies, if you overweight and you got high blood pressure, take your medication. If your cholesterol is high, they got medication for that. But there's other ways you can do that by eating healthy, eating the right foods, and staying healthy and exercising. We need everybody to exercise and do the right thing. But at the end of the day, our lives mean something. Somebody here, no matter what, everybody loves somebody. Everybody's somebody, baby. Your kids, somebody needs you. Everybody is important. I tell my staff that every meeting, you are the equitable difference. We need you here. If you was not here, then something will be lost. A ball will be dropped. So we need you. We need everybody. We need everybody to be healthy in our neighborhoods. Let's build back up our neighborhoods. Buy these homes in your neighborhood. On my block, we have one guy who been buying the houses. He bought a house for $8,000. Now he just sold it for $180,000. He beat me to the deal. You understand what I'm telling you? People are buying, but once they buy a neighborhood from us, we will not own them anymore. You have no say. You have no say.
And if anybody's paying attention, gentrification is real out here.
Yes, it is.
They was talking about it back in the movie Boys in the Hood. Only for us to be living it right now in Detroit.
Yes.
I mean, we were buying houses just a few years ago for $1,500.
Not no more.
$2,500.
Man, I seen a shack that I was looking at buying. They talking about $20,000. They had no windows and the roof had a hole in it for $20,000.
Right.
You understand what I'm telling you?
Some people didn't take advantage of that. I wish I would have did a lot more. But we got comfortable. Detroit ain't this, Detroit this, blah, blah, blah. And then overnight, snap of a finger, now you got houses on Puritan, man, going for $200,000.
And let me say something. A lot of individuals have talent. Everybody have a talent. Stick what you good at. Use your talent for what it's worth. Stay in your lane, number one. Stay in your lane. Like I said, I'm a resource. I'm a service. I'm staying in my lane. But I know a lot of professionals that I'm working with and a lot of organizations I'm working with that love and support me, and I love and support them. But stay in your lane. But everybody have a talent. I don't care if you're coming from prison. I don't care if you've been out for a while. I don't care if you're in there. You have a talent. Work on it. Beat your drum. Come home. Let's support each other. There's no way I'm going downtown to spend and buy bottles when I got Good Vibes right there on Harper. You understand what I'm telling you? I go out of town and pop a bottle, but if I want to have a pop a bottle and have drinks, I'm going to Good Vibes. Shout out to Portia Powell.
Who was Portia Powell?
She on Good Vibes. That's an East Side club.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Got to come party on the West Side, man.
No, if Portia on the East Side, she'll get mad.
All right, man. We about to go ahead and end this live, man. We about to end this podcast, man. It was pretty good, man. We got Waymond Hayes, Dr. Waymond Hayes on the show. Thank everybody for tuning in. If you can, go over to the YouTube channel. Like, share, subscribe, comment on there. We need you. I'm on Instagram at Lavish T. Williams. And if you're watching, you can see that I'm streaming live from Facebook as well as YouTube. Until next week. Or is it going to be a break next week? Next week is the Autorama.
Wow.
So it's kind of a car holiday for me. So I'm weighing the option, podcast, Autorama, podcast, and to be honest with you, the Autorama might win.
Do both.
I want to try it, but the Autorama, it might win. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. I'm going to catch you on the next show.